Yo, what's up? I'm Brian here doing another video for you guys, and this time we're talking about even more Transformers Generations listings. We've been talking about this non-stop for the past week, and it seems like we got even more from the same reliable source. Now, take everything with a grain of salt. Some things are subject to change, but let's go ahead and touch up on what's going on. Starting off with what's coming out after Legacy, because we heard that Legacy was meant to have 3 chapters and then it would move on to something else. Now, I thought maybe they would change that because originally Legacy was going to have its own show that was kind of a sequel to The War for Savage Online, but they didn't do it. And Legacy is such a broad name that they could keep that going for generations, and I don't think anyone would have a problem. However, with these listings, it seems to be the next part of what's going on with the main Generations line, and it doesn't show Legacy in the title. Instead, it's TRA, which is Transformers, GEN, which is Generations, and then Prime. So I'm not sure if Prime is going to be just the full title, if it's only going to be Prime, or if it's going to be Legacy Prime. I guess we'll have to wait and see, because the Omega Prime that we're getting from the HasLab project is coming out in fall of next year, and they still list that as Legacy, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. But for right now, we know that the 4th part, or the following chapter, is going to be Prime. Now, why is it that? Why are they naming it Prime? It's not because of Transformers Prime the show. It's because they're doing the Primes again. So funny enough, with Prime Wars, specifically Power of the Primes, we had the Pretender Shells, which they're redoing in Legacy with the Core Class, Deluxes, and whatnot. And now we've got the Prime Masters being redone. So let's go ahead and start off with Deluxe Class. This is Solus Prime. So I believe Solus Prime came with the Octopunch figure last time. And I believe he also came with one of the trilogy characters. They had a blast off, a punch, counter punch, and I think it was Repugnus it came with. I could be entirely wrong about that. But yes, we're getting a full-on figure for a Solus Prime. This is a deluxe class toy. I imagine it's going to transform. And the way they have these listed, it almost kind of feels like what they do for the weaponizers. So I'm not sure if it's going to transform into Prime Armor. And that specifically means that you can split them apart and plug them on other figures as Prime Armor. I guess we'll have to wait and see, but I'm very curious to what they'll actually transform into. Moving on, we also have something really exciting. It is the Deluxe Aerialbots. We have Air Raid and Fireflight. So it seems like they're going back on that. I actually recently commented on someone else's live stream that I would love to see Superion again, but I'm not sure how well they will do it after Combating Wars, because all I could picture is just an updated, upgraded version of the Combating Wars, and I don't feel like that's as needed as Menasor or some of the other characters. But no, we are getting the Aerialbots, and I think that's perfect because we have that new version of Menasor. Might as well do the Aerialbots. And I'm curious to see what else we'll get, and I'm also glad that they're just taking time to focus on one combiner, or 1 or 2 combiners at a time. Instead of making a whole sub-theme where everyone just has to be repaints of each other because there's so many being made. No, let's slow down. Let's just make one combiner at a time, and that seems to be what's going on here. So at least we're getting Air Raid and Firefight. You could tell that the next 2 Deluxes eventually are going to be Air Raid and Skydive, and then the Commander, or maybe a Leader class, we're going to get Silverbolt. Anyways, next up, we also have Animated Wasps. So obviously this is going to be a repaint of the Bumblebee. This is also going to be the first time where Wasp is going to be repainted from Bumblebee directly in the animated theme, because originally we were supposed to get that in the animated line, but that got canceled. So it's cool that they're referencing that, and yeah, you're going to get a green version of Bumblebee. Anyways, next up, we also have Alchemist Prime. This is another Prime character, obviously, so much like Solus Prime, I imagine it's going to separate and become Prime Armor. I guess we'll have to wait and see. We're also getting Crashbar as a package refresh, so anyone who missed out on that, there you go. I don't feel like that's a figure that specifically needed it, but whatever. Now, next up is a figure that I'm kind of confused by. I'm not entirely sure what they're going with this. So, it is a Deluxe Class Swindle. Now you're probably thinking, oh, it's going to be the G1 Swindle and we're going to get the Combaticons. And I'm hoping for that. I think that's very likely. But what's weird is that Swindle is the only one named, and they're doing the Superion, or the Aerialbots, at the same time. So I'm curious to see if this is going to be the G1 Swindle and it's going to start off the Combaticons, or if this is going to be Animated Swindle and they just did not name that specifically here. I would love an animated Swindle. I would like that to be redone, but if they're doing the Combaticons, I will love it, certainly. I mean, that's technically 3 combiners at that point, so... but still, not as bloated as Combiner Wars, you know. Anyways, moved on, we also have Micronus. This is another Prime character. This is the 3rd one mentioned here, so yes, we're getting Micronus. I'm curious to see exactly how they're going to do that, because Micronus, I believe, was specifically tied to Micromasters and Minicons, so yeah. Anyways, next up, we also have Venom. So we heard that we were going to get Barrage and Chop Chop in a 2-pack for the Mayhem Decepticon squad, and we already have Ransack, so I was curious exactly how they're going to do Venom, even if they were going to do Venom because of the name and the copyrights and that being tied to Marvel. I know that Hasbro does Marvel toys, but still, specifically with Marvel, it would associate with that. But no, I guess they're not afraid to do a Venom. Also, yes, we do get Skydive and Slingshot. I totally missed that for some reason, but yes, the other 2 are right there. There is Skydive and Slingshot, so we're just curious to see exactly what they're going to do with Silverbolt. It seems like he might be a commander class because we have a bunch of leader listings and he's not there, but it could be missing from the group. Anyways, for the Voyager, we have a Voyager Prima, so again, another Prime character. I'm curious to see how exactly they're going to do it, like if they're going to do it with Trashmaster and be a Voyager class with that same gimmick, or if this is just going to be a solid figure, but we'll have to wait and see. Still pretty cool that we're still getting more of those. Anyways, trying to scroll down, but I constantly messed up on that. Alright, here's a couple of things that I'm thrilled about. We've got a Voyager class Armada Red Alert. So we had the Hotshot, and we have the Optimus Prime. Of course, there's so many other Armada characters, but what I mainly wanted to see was the main 3 Autobots. As well, I'd like to see Demolisher and Cyclonus, but those were the main 3 Autobots that started Transformers Armada, and we are getting Red Alert. So, I'm curious to see if this is going to be a brand new mold, or if it's going to be a repaint of someone, but you could definitely bet that I want to get Red Alert, I keep messing up, Red Alert for my Optimus and my Hotshot. That's going to be exciting. Next up is Rescue Bots Heatwave. Now, someone asked around what they wanted to see for the Rescue Bots in Generations, and I said Heatwave would be awesome to get. So it's kind of funny that, yes, we are getting Heatwave. I wonder if they're going to remold it from the Red Alert, or, you know, do it the other way around. But, yes, we're getting Heatwave. As well, we are apparently going to get the Robots in Disguise Skybyte, which I think is perfect, especially considering that we're getting the Omega Prime. You might as well do more with the RID line. I know that we have Scourge. I could definitely tell that we're getting Prowl, or no, a Sideburn down the road. I'm hoping that we get Prowl and X-Brawn, but those 2 we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Skybyte is definitely perfect for that line. Next up, we also have Alpha Trion, so another Prime character. I'm curious to see if this will have the gimmick or not. It might not, considering that it's Alpha Trion. I keep messing up today. I'm sorry, I don't know why. But anyways, Alpha Trion, yes. We are getting another figure of that. We've had Alpha Trions before, so that's fine. Next up, we also have Flatline. Now, I tried to look up anything about Flatline, and there were 3 specific designs. There was one for the movies, which I don't think they're going to go for. There was one for a comic, and it was a lot like Trailbreaker, or the Trail Cutter from Generations Thrilling 30. So I don't think it's going to be like that. I mean, it could, but specifically, I don't know. And the other one was for the Transformers Universe game. So I feel like if anything, it's going to be either the comic or the Universe game. I think it would be really funny if it was the Universe game, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe it's going to be a brand new version. I mean, we do have the Red Alert, so seeing that repainted into Flatline, that might actually make sense. Next up, we also have a leader class, the Fallen, so again, it kind of works with the Prime characters, and I'm curious to see exactly how they're going to go with that design, if they're going to base it off that Prime Wars design, where it was Mark Hamill voicing him, or if they're going to do their own thing. Next up, we also have a leader class G2 Grimlock. Trying to scroll down. G2 Grimlock. So obviously, it's just going to be a blue version of the Studio Series Grimlock, but that's something that we've been asking for quite a while. I love the metallic blue Grimlock, so I'm not going to complain about that. I think that's the 5th repaint of that Grimlock, but it's such a good mold that I'm not going to complain. And then last but not least for these listings, we have Onyx Prime. I believe Onyx Prime was the Prime Master that came with the Predaking in Prime Wars. So with that out of the way, that is everything that's listed so far. I thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun doodads. And I will see you guys next time.
AllSpark TV. Now that's just Prime.